You know, there's so many small businesses. And this is a real tragedy here, right? Because so many guys like AJ who think, hey, yeah, I'm doing fine, running my business. But there's no value here. You look around, it's a bunch of old tools or whatever. And what's a law firm anyway? I mean, it's a bunch of paper, old old machines, right? Laser printers and copiers and old desks. I mean, what could you get for that at a yard sale? Not much. But when you add everything together, right, and you have a business, well, that's different. That's not the same thing as a bunch of tools. And I think we've got a real problem here where folks like AJ, I mean, he's been at it now 15 years, okay? He's made himself a reasonable living, good living for 15 years. It paid the bills, it's put a little bit aside, et cetera, et cetera. And to think that there's no value in that is just a big mistake. And it's one that everybody makes, right? Now, it may not be worth what I mean, some people have kind of unrealistic expectation about what they think their business is worth, right? But even in something like and you say, and maybe AJ himself thinks this, it's like, well, it's not that hard. I can do it, right? I can do it. Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean everyone else can. And I'm going to bet you that over 15 years, it took me about 2 or 3 to figure out what was really going on with estate planning, just how badly it's being done. Okay. I mean, you've heard me tell the story before. And I'm happy to repeat it if you want me to. But the point is that over time, you get good at something. He's got he goes out, he does the service at the person's home. He knows how to build the insurance. There's just a whole lot of little things that a new person discourages them. They don't do, all right. They don't want to go through that learning curve. They don't want to take the difficulty of it. See, here's the thing. Everybody's happy to set up a restaurant. It's amazing. If you look at the small businesses people get into, food is huge. So when we're at the franchise thing, selling franchises, right? Is what it was. So people who are selling business opportunities, franchise opportunities, you're just looking around, and man, it is food everywhere. Everybody's selling the food opportunity. Okay, fine. Why the food opportunity? Why do you think? Well, number one, people got to eat. Okay, that's it. But the other thing is, everybody thinks they know how to run a restaurant because they can make breakfast, right? Oh, everyone loves my scrambled eggs. Great, let's set up a restaurant. And this is why, doors open, doors closed, grand opening, grand closing. And that's why you get so much failure with businesses with restaurants, because everybody thinks they know what they're doing, which they don't, because the food part is like, it's important, but it's not what the business is about. Okay. It's everything else that the business is about. Like I just noticed they're opening a new, what is it? It's that diner type place. Anyway, it's on the site. It used to be Mr. Fables. For those of you who remember Mr. Fables, this was Mr. Fables on Northland Drive, right by the river, by the bridge there. And then it was a Burger King, and then before that it was something else, and now it's going back to the Anna's house. That's the one. And now they've got a few locations. They've gone into other places where people didn't make it. Okay. But it's not like other people don't know how to make eggs. It's not like other people don't know how to toast the toast. Okay. Why is Anna's house so successful? Because they figured something out. Okay. They figured out their inventory control. They figured out their personnel. They figured it out. Okay. And they've got a little cachet, with the retro diner sort of thing. I mean, imagine taking a postmodern Burger King and turning it into a diner. Well, they kind of did that. I mean, it's really kind of clever the way they did it. But the point is that it's not in the scrambling of the eggs, the toasting of the bread, whatever. That's not what makes something like that take off. Okay, it's all the other things. Similarly, and you say, well, that's artistic and blah blah. Yeah, but it's the same way in any business. There's some expertise that goes on. It's like the duck. If you see a duck going across a pond, Looks very placid, right? The duck, which you don't realize he's paddling away like hell underneath the water. Well, that's every business is like that. The owner is paddling away like hell under the business that you don't see because you're not supposed to. That's the deal. And what AJ has done over 15 years is figure out how to do the paddling. Now, that has value to somebody who says, hey, I don't want to work for the other guy. I want to set up on my own. Okay, fine. How are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to get in this thing. I'm going to lose money for X number of years and maybe I'll figure it out and all the rest. Well, you got somebody here. AJ is somebody who knows that stuff. He's had the failures. He's had the heartache. He's gone through COVID. He knows all this stuff already. All right. He gets it. So why not sell that expertise? Because that expertise has very great value, which you can measure. So you say, okay, if I was doing all the things necessary that AJ does, right, and somebody else was paying me for it, how much would I get? I don't know what it costs to employ a windshield installer. I don't know what that job goes for. Let's say it goes for $50,000. All right. So you could find somebody to do the work part of it. Now they're not going to care about it, and they're not going to worry about it, and they're not going to do all the rest. But for $50,000, you can find someone to put windshields in. Okay. So how much is he making off the business? 6 figures. He's making double that. Okay. That doubling, that other 50, that's what he gets. That's the premium that he gets over and above the actual work that's being done. And I bet it's more closer to 50 than 40. But anyway, that's the premium he gets. Now, he may not be able to realize the full value of that, in what we call capitalizing the income stream, right? Just think about a CD that kicked out 50,000 a year. That'd be pretty valuable, wouldn't it? Right? Or black box that kicks out 50,000. Well, with a business, you've got to do the work and everything else. So it's not, the rate of return is not quite so high, but still it's reasonable and it's certainly worth something. And there's people out there willing to buy it. And then you sell them your assets and your expertise and you work it, you work together for a couple of years, so the guy who's buying out your business understands what the business is and how to do it and everything else. Right. And now you've actually gotten something over and above, what you should, what you were thinking. I mean, because in so many businesses, they just close their doors. Now, if you're losing money, close your doors. I have no problem with that. Okay. If your business model is poor and your execution's bad and all the rest of it, like most of these restaurants that grand opening, grand closing, I'm okay if that's it. There's no value there. Okay. Whatever you may think about your decor. All right. But more people actually have value that they don't realize it.